Hi guys, my name is Eugene. Welcome to my channel. If you haven't watched any of my videos before, don't worry. I don't post a lot, so I just update every now and then. This video is going to be about how I bought my first house in Cape Town. So I've spent the past 2 years working on my credit score. Eventually, when my credit score was 697 out of 740 on Clear Score, then I decided it was time to start applying. I had been working on clearing my debt. So the only debt that I had was I had my credit card, which I use to build up my credit score and I pay up every month. And then I also have my car payment. Those are the two that I use to build up my credit score. And I also paid everything on time, and I also had a lot of savings in my investment accounts. All of that stuff works in your favor when it comes to building up your credit score, especially with your own bank. And then once I had enough savings and my credit score was high enough, I was confident enough to start looking for a house. So the first thing I did was to pre-qualify. You pre-qualify using Better Bond or Uber. So what Better Bond and Uber do is they are bond originators. Bond originators is a place where you apply once on one platform and they send out your information to all the banks and they do your credit checks and then they give you offers. So this way all the banks compete to get you to sign a contract with them, and in this way you can get to pick the best offers and you can negotiate with them to give you an even better offer. So for me, on my bank, I already had an offer, but I didn't know what percentage they were going to give me. I banked with the FNB. And then using Better Bond, I was able to get an offer for prime -1, which is below the current interest rate, which was, I think it was 11.75 when I applied in December last year. So I got an interest rate of prime -1, which is very good. And that was because of my credit profile, because I have a good credit score and I had a lot of savings. So I put a 10% deposit. When I bought this house, I was looking first in the Woodstock area in Cape Town, but then I realized you don't get a lot for your money that side. For like around 2 million, you only get a 2-bedroom cottage, and most of the time you won't even have parking. So I thought that was a lot of money to spend on such a small property. For around 3 million, you get better properties, you'll get parking, but it'll still be only a 2-bedroom. If you're lucky, you'll get a 3-bedroom. Then I didn't want to stay in an estate. I wanted my own property to have my own yard, and parking was an important factor for me. So I started looking in other areas in Cape Town, such as let's see, Burgundy. I didn't look at it much because it's estates and I didn't want to be paying estate fees. I didn't want a flat as well. So I started looking in Botsig. I started looking in the northern suburbs. Eventually I settled in the northern suburbs because it's very green out there. It's very family orientated and you get full houses. So the house I eventually got is a 3-bedroom house with a pool and a yard, and it's at about 500 square meters, 550 square meters. You wouldn't have gotten that in the southern suburbs for that price or anywhere close to town. In the southern suburbs, as you head towards Heathfield or Tokai, then you start getting houses, but I didn't want to head in that direction, so I settled on the northern suburbs because I had stayed there before. It's good value for money. You get a proper house. It reminds me of the kinds of houses back at home where I grew up, like a neighborhood house. And also, I'm over 30 now, so I'm looking to start a family. I have to think about what kind of a house would be suitable for starting a family. So I ended up in Belleville. So once I got pre-qualified, then I could go house viewing. I spent like a month viewing houses. I viewed over 20 houses because I knew what I qualified for. It was easier just to look at houses within that price range. The house I finally bought, it was listed for 2.2 million, and then I made an offer for 2.1, which was accepted, and then I paid 10% deposit. So the 10% deposit, I think it was 210,000 rands, and then I paid another, I think about another 90k for transfer fees, and then I paid another 20 something k for the bond registration fees with the lawyers. So see, all in all, buying a house, so the house was 2.1, the bank loan was 1.890, my deposit was 210, the other fees were in excess of 100,000. All in all, out of my pocket, I had to pay more than 300,000 rands. So these are the costs that you don't think about when you're still looking for houses, which is why you need to save for a long time before you actually go house hunting, so that all these extra fees don't surprise you. But when you're looking on Property 24 and there's like a calculator app, it gives you an indication of how many of like the extra fees that you have to pay. Most of the time, if you're a first-time buyer, you will get a discount on the bond registration fees and whatnot. I think I got a discount as well. I was gonna pay more if this wasn't my first residential property. Yeah, so that's basically it. Once you have all the documents and you make an offer to purchase, then the application starts. And I use Betterpon. The agent that you use from Betterpon is the one that does the applications for you. And then within a few hours of me applying, I got offers back from banks. I remember the first bank to come back to me was Standard Bank, and they were going to offer me prime minus 0.75, and then they said they'd offer me an extra 0.25% if I opened a Standard Bank account, which I did. So I got prime -1, and that's a huge saving long term. That's a huge saving, because if you get under the prime interest rate, then you got a good deal. And then Nedbank offered me prime -1 without opening a bank account with them, but they wanted a bigger deposit. So I ended up going with the Standard Bank offer. Yeah, so that's basically it. And then from the time I made the offer to purchase, so I made the offer to purchase on December 21st, 2023. And then I moved into my house on the 30th of March 2024. So that's about 3 months. So it roughly takes 2 to 3 months from the time you sign the offer to purchase to the time you move into your new house. For me, it might have taken a little bit longer because the people I bought the house from had to make an offer on another house as well, and then we could proceed with like the normal proceedings. Yeah, okay, so that's basically it. That's how I bought my first house. I'm gonna show you a quick walk around video that I took on the first day when I moved in after this, and then maybe later on I'll have a walk around the house. I have another video that shows you like a house tour basically. All right, cheers. I hope this was helpful.